Hello everyone, and welcome to PCTV News. I'm Maddie Aarons.
And I'm Cortland Reekston. Thanks for joining us today.
We begin today with recent Principia news. For the first time in Principia history, Brooks House took home the Principia House Olympics trophy. Over the competition, they won 2 of the 6 games, propelling the house to the grand prize of $600.
Earlier this week, the students from this fall's England Abroad held performances of The Merchant of Venice. The Shakespearean play chronicles the lessons and acting methods the cast learned while taking lessons at the Globe Theatre in London.
This semester, Brian Roberts' Contemporary European Politics class created several panel discussions on the topics of the EU and Brexit, and profiles on the leaders of France, Germany, and the EU. All the panels were informative and lively. Here's a quick review of what went on.
Welcome everyone to another Europe Today broadcast. I'm Garrett Barton.
Prin also wants to talk about trade first because that's a major priority for them, and I think it's important that the EU should keep that in mind when going about these priorities.
Great. Another sticking point is she's talked about how she wants to guarantee rights for EU and UK citizens living in the United Kingdom and abroad, but she also wants to use them as kind of negotiations and how are we going to work it out this way, and she has been criticized by the Labour Party.
They are making a year-long study on the migration in and out of the United Kingdom among the EU citizens and the British nationals.
Definitely the key driving force behind the Leave the EU supporters' success was significant hostility towards immigration, which actually shocked a group of those who are, again, extremely opposed to migration, which is around a quarter of the public.
So I guess it can be inferred that it would be in the best interest of the union's future, economically, socially, and politically, to work with the UK.
What is Theresa May currently doing to try to create trade deals?
Well, Theresa May has been quite busy getting her ducks in a row, as we might say.
Yeah, and that's also a really good point about hard Brexit and soft Brexit, because ultimately it seems like hard Brexit isn't an option. It seems like soft Brexit is the only option at this point in time, because due to Britain's current trade deals and the ones that they're going to make in the future, it's going to be with Europe, undoubtedly.
Hello and welcome to another Europe Today broadcast. With me on the show I have Sarah Switzer, Megan Tazi, Greg Sylvia, and Griffin Carlson.
Exactly. Her popularity remains strong for this 4th term, having been elected. And this popularity is spread across party lines and age sectors, and a lot of the accomplishments you guys mentioned.
Now, there's a few topics that are under discussion in this coalition, and it's actually the first time that a coalition will be formed between these 3 parties, which is a really big deal in Germany.
Yeah, that's really neat, and I totally agree, but on the other hand, Macron has been facing a fair amount of criticism recently, especially regarding economics and tax cuts.
That's the thing I think is very interesting. So when Macron came to power, it kind of swept over very quickly because in the election, everyone knew about Le Pen, how she was coming up from the far right and her party was gaining power.
Macron, since his election in May, has had a pretty sharp decrease in his approval ratings amongst the French people.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's very interesting because both of you guys brought up how international looking Macron is, because unlike Marine Le Pen, he supports a stronger, more integrated Europe, and he actually has lots of plans to make a more integrated Europe.
So what do you guys think about Theresa May's snap election? You think that was a good move on her part, or?
I think she's definitely taken a hit as far as satisfaction ratings go and her public opinion. When she was originally chosen to be Prime Minister, she had really great ratings. 46% of respondents had a better opinion of her after she was chosen to be Prime Minister, and then only 5% had a negative view and 19% didn't change their view at all. So that was a pretty record high.
Thanks to all those who contributed. Now let's run it over to Zeke with a look at sports.
Maddie, your puns never fail to get me. Trust me on that one. Okay, so the holiday season came early for Principia this year because Principia this past weekend had to host the NCAA Division III Cross Country National Championships. Over 560 runners and 2,000 spectators descended on campus to catch a glimpse of some of the best runners in the country take on what's been ranked as one of the most difficult courses in the Midwest. And better yet, Principia sent 3 seniors to the championships this year. Here's a deeper look into the story of 3 young men who sacrificed so much for their last collegiate race. It's a dream that started in 2004 to host the Cross Country National Championships, and 13 years later, that dream has finally come to fruition here at Principia College. Don't let those calming sunsets fool you. Nestled into the North Farm on Principia's 2,500-acre campus lies what many runners have considered to be their toughest challenge.
It's a beast. It's a tough course.
Originally developed in 2004, the Principia Cross Country course was designed with the purpose of one day hosting the NCAA National Tournament. In other words, designed to be highly difficult. Former head coach Chuck Wilcoxon was the brains behind the mastermind operation, which took nearly a decade to fully complete. Landmarks like the Middle Tower on the center hill and the infamous 10-Tree Hill spin the heads of runners, often leaving them bewildered at what they had just encountered.
The most challenging aspect of this particular course is definitely the 10-Tree Hill that everybody keeps talking about. And not because it's so steep, but because it's so mentally challenging.
In a story that kind of resembles a fairy tale, Saturday's national championship marks the final time Principia seniors Shane Witters-Hicks, Zach Mathieson, and Nate Richards race on their home soil. And if you ask the runners whether this may play into their hands,
it's very tempting to believe that there's a home course advantage because of how much experience we've had with this course, but that's not true at all.
On the bright side, the field of 560 runners will share the discomfort across the board, giving everyone a feeling they could go out and grab the top spot.
I have a lot of expectations for it, but I also have a lot of relief for it because it feels like I've built this career up and now this is it.
While expectations may run high for all, these seniors feel more than equipped to handle the challenge of a national championship than ever before.
And there's still one more race left. We can try and go sub 24 again.
Throughout the season, first-year head coach Sedge Southworth progressed his men to be at their peak performance level come championship season.
Yes! Nice workout there.
He had a lot of expectation to live up to, so he came in with perhaps a lot of pressure on him, kind of like we might have as runners, and he just dealt with it so gracefully. I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Once everything is all said and done come Saturday, the accomplishments and accolades of Shane, Nate, and Zach might end up in a trophy case like this. But for them, that doesn't even get to the core of why they run.
Running with people who are faster or just about as fast as you is like striving together with them. It's a camaraderie.
Attaway, Bree, Grayson, Dominion. You know what a 500 feels like? It's quick.
We set that goal of be the best as one of the men's team goals, our intrinsic goals at the beginning of the season, and it has utterly transformed how I think about running as not just a runner on the field, but a 24-hour runner.
For PCTV News, I'm Zeke Willett. Congratulations to Shane, Nate, and Zach. It's so cool to see Principia compete on a national level, and to do it at home is something truly special. Back over to you, Cortland.
Thank you, Zeke, for that update with sports. Now, due to technical difficulties prior to our last program, we were unable to report on student responses to the recent talk by Rukmini Callimachi, the foreign correspondent at the New York Times and this year's Moral Courage speaker. So, here's an official look at what students had to say from that event.
Hi, I'm Garrett Johnson with PCTV News. We just finished with the talk given by Rukmini Callimachi based on how Islamic extremism has kind of infiltrated our platforms on social media. We're just going to get some opinions here of the students and see what they have to say.
It was super interesting to hear how extremist groups use social media and how social media is definitely a tool that can either be a blessing or it can really be abused. So that was super enlightening and realized just how easy it is to contact these sorts of organizations, but also learning what we can do to combat it.
She spoke at the very beginning of the talk about how it is our ego that is causing us to make mistakes with ISIS. It was ego that said, oh, we can beat ISIS in a few months in Mosul. And she said, look, well, now we're saying that the defeat of ISIS is near, but it would be ego that would say that. And she's identifying these different tracks that they are allowing themselves to be self-perpetuating in a way. And she said, in essence, we have to be humble and we have to know that we have more work to do.
By mid-2015, Twitter announced that they were suspending more than 15,000 suspected ISIS accounts per month, and by 2016, they were up to 40,000 per month.
I would say so, because social media is so influential and it has a really easy way of influencing people very quickly.
I wouldn't say alarmed, because I don't know, as Christian scientists we have total faith and trust and know that we're protected, but it was definitely shocking.
For PCTV News, this is Garrett Johnson.
Prin will be on the lookout for next year's Moral Courage speaker.
For our final segment of the semester, PCTV thought it would be fun to cover the holiday traditions of students here on campus. Here's a quick look into some of the unique responses we got from the entire community.
Hi everyone, I'm here on site today with PCTV to ask some people about their favorite holiday traditions.
My favorite holiday tradition is just being with family and eating my dad's smoked turkey.
My favorite holiday tradition is sitting on Santa's lap. My mom makes it so that if we want a stocking for Christmas, we all have to sit on Santa's lap. So my 23-year-old brother still sits on Santa's lap every Christmas to get a stocking.
My favorite holiday tradition is getting Christmas pajamas. So every year we'd get to open one present right before Christmas, and it would always be our Christmas pajamas that we chose.
My favorite holiday is New Year in Russia, because there are so many fireworks in the sky, and I'm a big fan of fireworks.
The holidays are just such a great time of year, and we can't wait to head home to be with our families and start the holiday traditions. Now back to the set.
Wow, that definitely put me into the holiday spirit. I love hearing about all those Christmas traditions.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this week. And Maddie, any holiday plans?
You know, I'm just really looking forward to spending some quality time at home with family and friends. What about you, Cortland?
Definitely quality time with family and friends, baking chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, definitely. The food is my favorite part of the holidays.
Me too. All right, everyone. Be sure to like PCTV on Facebook to rewatch some of our latest broadcasts.
Until next time, I'm Maddie Ahrens.
And I'm Cortland Reekston. And this is PCTV News.
Thank you.